Right now, your body might be destroying itself, and you don't even know it. According to a 2024 poll by the American Psychiatric Association, 43% of adults say they feel more anxious than the year before, and that number keeps climbing every single year. Stress is not just a feeling. It is a chemical event happening inside your body right now. And here is the part nobody talks about. That chemical event is aging you, shrinking parts of your brain, and slowly breaking down your immune system while you just sit there, thinking it's normal, thinking everyone feels this way, thinking it will just pass. It won't pass, not unless you do something about it. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what to do, step by step. No fluff, no motivational nonsense. Real science, real tools. And by the end of this video, you will have a complete system to stay calm under any kind of stress. But first, you need to understand what stress actually does to your body. Because once you see it, you can never unsee it. So let's get straight into it. When something stressful happens, maybe your boss yells at you, maybe you get a scary email, maybe you're stuck in traffic and you're already late. Your brain does not sit and think about it calmly. No, it panics. Your brain has a tiny part called the amygdala. Think of it as your brain's fire alarm. The second it senses danger, real or imagined, it pulls the alarm. And what happens when a fire alarm goes off? Everything reacts. A review published in Frontiers in Endocrinology confirms that stress activates both the sympathetic nervous system and the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, which together launch the body's full emergency response. Your heart starts pounding, your muscles get tight, your breathing gets fast and shallow, your stomach feels like it's in a knot. This is your body going into what scientists call the fight or flight response. It is an ancient survival system designed to help you run from a lion or fight off an attacker. The problem? Your body can't tell the difference between a lion and a late payment. It reacts the same way. And that is where the trouble begins. Here's what happens next. Once that alarm goes off, your brain sends a signal down to two small glands sitting on top of your kidneys, the adrenal glands, and they release a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone. A comprehensive review in PMC explains that cortisol is a glucocorticoid hormone produced by the adrenal glands that plays a major role in how the body responds to stress. Now here's the thing. Cortisol is not bad. In small amounts and for short periods, it actually helps you. It gives you a burst of energy like when you need to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting a car in front of you. It sharpens your focus like when you need to finish a project before a tight deadline. And it even helps with pain like when you twist your ankle playing basketball but somehow keep running. But here is where it gets dangerous. When stress doesn't stop, when you're worried about money every day, when your relationship is a mess, when you hate your job and you wake up dreading Monday, a 2024 study published in the journal Diseases confirms that while short-term cortisol release is helpful, prolonged exposure to high cortisol levels causes serious damage to the body and brain. And I'm about to show you exactly what that damage looks like. Stay with me. When cortisol stays high for weeks and months, it starts to eat away at your brain. Literally. The part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, that's where you do things like plan a vacation, figure out how to save money, and decide whether to send that risky text message. It starts to weaken. The connections between brain cells in that area begin to break down. And here's the scary part. While your thinking brain is getting weaker, your fear brain, the amygdala, is getting stronger. Research in PMC reveals that chronic stress actually increases the size and activity of the amygdala, making you more reactive and more anxious over time. So the more stressed you are, the more stressed you become. It's a vicious cycle. Your immune system takes a hit too. A 2024 study examining cortisol and immune function found that chronic stress leads to immune suppression, making the body more vulnerable to infections and disease. Your sleep gets worse. Your digestion suffers. Your heart works harder than it should. Stress is not just in your head, it is everywhere in your body. But there is a way out. And it starts with something you're doing right now without even thinking about it. Your breath. That's right. The number one, fastest, most powerful tool you have to crush stress is something you've been doing since the moment you were born, and almost nobody uses it correctly. Here's why breathing works so well. Remember how I told you stress activates your fight or flight system? Well, your body also has an opposite system, the parasympathetic nervous system. Think of it as your body's brake pedal. And the fastest way to press that brake pedal is through something called diaphragmatic breathing, deep belly breathing. A 2017 study published in Frontiers in Psychology found that diaphragmatic breathing significantly reduces cortisol levels and improves mood in healthy adults. But it gets even better. Wait until you hear what it does to your brain. That's coming up. But first, let me give you the exact technique. This is called the 4-7-8 breathing technique. It was made famous by Dr. Andrew Weil, and it works like a natural calming pill for your nervous system. Here's how you do it. Step 1. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Step 2. Hold that breath for 7 seconds. Step 3. Breathe out slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. That's it. 4, 7, 8. Do this for 4 rounds. It takes less than 2 minutes. The extended exhale in this pattern activates the parasympathetic nervous system and triggers what researchers call the relaxation response, which directly calms the body's stress centers. And studies show that box breathing, a related technique using a 4-4-4-4 pattern, can reduce cortisol levels by up to 20% within just a few minutes. 20%. That's not a small change. That's your body going from a state of emergency to a state of calm in under 2 minutes. Now, let me tell you what this does to your brain, because this is the part that blew my mind. When you practice deep, focused breathing, something incredible happens inside your skull. A 2016 fMRI study published in Neuroimage found that attention to breath meditation directly reduces amygdala activation and increases the connection between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. In plain words, deep breathing turns down your fire alarm and turns up your thinking brain. Imagine this. You're in a meeting and your boss criticizes your work in front of everyone. Normally, your amygdala fires up. Your face gets hot, you want to snap back or run away. But if you've been practicing deep breathing regularly, your prefrontal cortex, your thinking brain, steps in faster. It says, "Hold on, let me process this before you react." That is brain rewiring. That is real power. Brain imaging research further confirms that regular breathing practice actually increases the thickness of the prefrontal cortex over time and improves the way different brain regions communicate with each other. Your brain physically changes. This isn't positive thinking. This is physical, measurable, structural change in your brain. And it costs you nothing, just your breath. Okay, so step 1 was breathing. Master that. Practice it every single day, morning, night, and especially when you feel stress starting to build. Now, step 2 is something that most people get completely wrong when it comes to stress, and that is movement. I know what you're thinking. Exercise? That's your big secret? No, it's not about running a marathon or lifting heavy weights. It's about understanding why movement works at a chemical level in your body. Because when you understand the why, you will never skip it again. And I'm going to share a study with you in a moment that will completely change the way you think about exercise and stress. But first, let me explain what's happening inside your muscles when you move, because it's not what you think. When you are stressed, your body is flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals are designed to make you move, to fight, or to run. But in modern life, you don't fight. You don't run. You just sit at your desk staring at a spreadsheet. You scroll through bad news on your phone. You lie in bed at 2 a.m. worrying about rent. So all those stress chemicals just sit inside you, doing damage. Exercise is the way you burn them off. A major meta-analysis of 32 randomized controlled trials involving over 3,200 participants found that exercise has a large effect on reducing depression and a significant moderate effect on reducing anxiety. Not a small effect, not a tiny improvement, large and moderate. That is scientific language for this really works. And here is what makes it even more exciting. Research also found that the benefits of exercise on stress hormones in the brain are well documented, including better mood and better sleep patterns. Your body literally uses the movement to clean out the stress chemicals. Movement is not optional. It's medicine. Now, the big question. How much exercise do you need? Less than you think. A large dose-response meta-analysis published in eClinical Medicine found that physical activity within the World Health Organization's recommended range of 10 to 20 MET hours per week significantly reduces the risk of anxiety. In real life, that means something as simple as a 30-minute fast walk 5 days a week. That's it. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need expensive equipment. You just need to move your body. Walk around your neighborhood, dance in your living room, do push-ups next to your bed, ride a bicycle to the store instead of driving. A separate meta-analysis on mind-body exercises like yoga and Tai Chi found that sessions lasting over 60 minutes had the strongest effect on reducing anxiety. But even shorter sessions help. The key is doing it regularly. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Now, there's a third step that most stress videos never talk about. And honestly, it might be the most important one. Step 3. Sleep. And I don't mean try to get some rest. I mean treat your sleep like your life depends on it. Because it does. What I'm about to tell you is genuinely alarming. A landmark fMRI study by Yu and colleagues demonstrated that just one night of sleep deprivation triggers a 60% amplification in amygdala reactivity to negative emotions. 60%! That means after one bad night of sleep, your brain's fire alarm becomes 60% more sensitive. Everything bothers you more. Everything feels more threatening. Everything is harder to deal with. And it gets worse. The same research found that sleep deprivation breaks the connection between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. Remember, the prefrontal cortex is your thinking brain, the part that keeps your emotions in check. Without sleep, that connection breaks. You lose the ability to regulate your emotions properly. That is why, after a bad night's sleep, you might cry over something silly, or snap at your partner over nothing, or feel like the whole world is against you. And here's the cascade. When you don't sleep well, you get more stressed. When you're more stressed, you sleep worse. When you sleep worse, your amygdala gets even more reactive. Further research confirms that poor sleep quality over time makes the amygdala even more responsive to threats, which directly increases feelings of stress and negativity. This is a downward spiral that millions of people are stuck in right now without even realizing it. They think they're just stressed. They don't realize that their sleep is the root of the problem. A review of the neuroscience literature emphasizes that adequate sleep actually resets the brain's emotional circuits, maintaining the connection between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala so you can respond to challenges with clarity instead of panic. Sleep is not laziness. Sleep is repair. Sleep is your brain's reset button. So how do you fix your sleep? I've got 5 specific steps for you, coming up very soon. Okay, here are 5 practical things you can do tonight to improve your sleep. Number 1. Set a consistent bedtime. Your brain has an internal clock, like a factory that runs on a fixed schedule. If you keep changing when the factory opens and closes, the workers inside get confused and nothing works right. Same thing happens with your brain. Pick a time, stick to it, even on weekends. Number 2. Stop screens 1 hour before bed. The blue light from your phone tells your brain it's still daytime. Your brain literally thinks the sun is still up. This delays the release of melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep. Number 3. Make your room cold and dark. Your body temperature needs to drop slightly to fall asleep. A room between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 Celsius, is ideal. And any light, even a tiny LED from a charger, can mess with your sleep quality. Cover it up or remove it. Number 4. No caffeine after 2 p.m. I know. You love your afternoon coffee. But caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. That means if you drink a cup of coffee at 4 p.m., by 10 p.m., half of that caffeine is still running through your blood. It's like trying to sleep while someone gently shakes you. You might drift off, but the quality is terrible. And number 5, this one is powerful. Try a gratitude practice before bed. I know it sounds simple, but the science is real. A study published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Research found that people who practiced gratitude consistently had 23% lower cortisol levels. Lower cortisol means a calmer body. A calmer body means better sleep. Just grab a notebook and write 3 things you're thankful for before you close your eyes. Maybe it's your mom's voice on the phone. Maybe it's the meal you ate today. Maybe it's the fact that you're alive and watching this video. Small things count. We'll get deeper into gratitude later, but for now, remember, these 5 sleep steps are not suggestions. They are requirements for a calm mind. Now we get to something really fascinating. Step 4. And this is where we go from good to great. I want to introduce you to something called the vagus nerve. This is the longest nerve in your entire body. It runs from your brainstem all the way down through your chest, your heart, your lungs, and into your gut. Think of the vagus nerve as a highway between your brain and your body. And this highway carries one very important message, the message to calm down. When your vagus nerve is strong and active, you recover from stress faster. Your heart rate drops quicker. Your breathing normalizes sooner. You feel calm more easily. Research confirms that higher vagal tone, which means a more active vagus nerve, is directly associated with lower anxiety, better mood, and greater resilience to both physical and emotional stress. So the question becomes, how do you strengthen this nerve? And the answer might surprise you. It involves something cold. Cold water. That's right. One of the most effective ways to stimulate your vagus nerve is cold exposure. When cold water hits your face or your body, it triggers something called the mammalian dive reflex. This is an ancient survival response that immediately slows your heart rate and activates the parasympathetic nervous system. A controlled study published in Scientific Reports found that applying cold to the face, known as the cold face test, activates the parasympathetic nervous system and reduces physiological stress responses during psychosocial stress. Now, you don't have to jump into an ice bath. Start simple. Splash cold water on your face first thing in the morning. Turn the shower to cold for the last 30 seconds. Hold a bag of frozen peas against your neck for a minute. Research shows that even brief cold stimulation on the face and neck activates the vagus nerve and increases heart rate variability, which is a key sign of stress resilience. Over time, you can work your way up to cold showers or even ice baths. But start small. Consistency is what matters. Step 5. And this is where we go from the body to the mind. Because stress isn't just a physical response. It starts with a thought. Something happens, and then your brain interprets it. That interpretation, that story you tell yourself, is what determines whether you stay calm or fall apart. This is called cognitive reframing. Think about it like this. Two people are stuck in the same traffic jam. Person A thinks, "This is terrible. I'm going to be late. My boss will be furious. I might get fired." Person B thinks, "Well, I can't control this. Let me use this time to listen to something I enjoy." Same situation, completely different stress response. The event is not what creates your stress. Your interpretation of the event creates your stress. This isn't just philosophy. It's backed by decades of cognitive behavioral therapy research. And I'm going to give you a simple 3-step formula to reframe any stressful situation. Keep watching. Here is the 3-step reframe formula. Step 1. Name it. When you feel stress building, say to yourself, "I notice I am feeling stressed." It's like being a reporter describing what you see at a news scene, instead of being the person panicking inside the burning building. This tiny act of naming the emotion activates your prefrontal cortex and weakens the amygdala's grip on you. Step 2. Question it. Ask yourself, is this thought actually true? Or is my brain making this worse than it really is? You'd be amazed how often the answer is, my brain is exaggerating. Like when you send a text and someone doesn't reply for hours and you think they hate you, but really, they were just napping. Step 3. Replace it. Choose a new thought. Not a fake positive thought, a realistic one. Instead of, "I'm going to fail," try, "This is hard, but I've handled hard things before." Instead of, "Everything is falling apart," try, "This is one bad moment, not a bad life." That shift, from catastrophic to realistic, is what separates people who stay calm from people who crumble. Step 6. Build your gratitude practice. I mentioned it earlier with sleep, but gratitude deserves its own spotlight, because the research on gratitude and stress reduction is, honestly, stunning. A study on gratitude and appreciation found that people who consistently expressed gratitude showed reduced cortisol levels, stronger heart function, and greater emotional resilience. That means grateful people bounce back from setbacks faster, like someone who loses a game but immediately focuses on what they learned instead of dwelling on the loss. A meta-analysis published in PMC reviewing multiple gratitude intervention studies confirmed that practicing gratitude is associated with greater life satisfaction, better mental health, and fewer symptoms of anxiety and depression. Gratitude literally changes your brain chemistry. It increases dopamine and serotonin, the same chemicals that antidepressant medications try to boost. And all it takes is a pen and a piece of paper. Here is exactly how to do it. Every morning or every night, pick one. Sit down with a notebook. Write 3 specific things you are grateful for. Not vague things like life, specific things. Instead of, "I'm grateful for my family," write, "I'm grateful that my sister called me today just to check on me." Instead of, "I'm grateful for food," write, "I'm grateful for that warm plate of rice and stew I had for dinner tonight." The more specific you get, the more your brain feels it. And the more your brain feels it, the stronger the effect. Research from UC Berkeley suggests that the most effective gratitude journaling involves specific details about why you're grateful, rather than just listing items. Do this consistently for at least 8 weeks. That's how long research suggests it takes to create measurable changes in your neural pathways. 8 weeks. That's nothing compared to a lifetime of less stress. Now, step 7 is something most people have never heard of. Step 7. Spend time in nature. There is something about being around trees, water, and open sky that your body responds to on a deep level. This isn't just a nice idea, it's measurable science. Researchers in Japan have studied something called Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing, and found that spending time among trees reduces cortisol levels, lowers blood pressure, and strengthens the immune system. Your body knows when it's in nature, and it responds by calming down. Even something as simple as sitting in a park during your lunch break, walking barefoot on grass for 10 minutes, or opening your window to listen to birds in the morning, these small acts matter. You don't need a forest. You need contact with the natural world. Even a potted plant on your desk has been shown to reduce stress in office environments. Nature is not a luxury. It is a biological need. Step 8. And this one is tough for many people. Connect with other humans. Real connection. Not likes on a post. Not emoji reactions. Real, face-to-face, voice-to-voice connection. The 2025 Stress in America survey found that 69% of adults said they needed more emotional support than they received in the past year. That's almost 7 out of 10 people walking around feeling unsupported, feeling alone in their stress. When you talk to someone you trust, when you share what's bothering you, your body releases oxytocin. This is the bonding hormone. It directly lowers cortisol. It's the reason why calling your best friend after a terrible day at work immediately makes you feel lighter, or why hugging your child after a long day seems to melt the tension away. Connection is not weakness. Connection is one of the most powerful stress-relieving tools we have as human beings. Step 9. Limit your news consumption. Ugh, I know, you want to stay informed. You feel like you need to know what's happening. But your brain was not designed to absorb the problems of the entire world 24 hours a day. The 2024 APA poll found that 70% of adults feel anxious about current events, with the economy and political concerns being the biggest drivers. Every time you scroll through negative news, your amygdala fires. Cortisol rises. Your body goes into stress mode for a situation you often have zero control over. I'm not saying ignore the world. I'm saying set boundaries. Pick one time per day, maybe 20 minutes in the morning, to check the news. Then put the phone down. Don't scroll in bed. Don't watch the news while eating dinner. Don't let a 24-hour news cycle hijack your nervous system around the clock. Protect your mind the way you protect your home. Lock the door. Not everyone, and not every headline, gets to come inside. Step 10. Create a morning routine that anchors your calm. This is where everything we've talked about comes together. Here is my recommended morning calm routine, and it takes less than 20 minutes. First, 2 minutes of 4-7-8 breathing, 4 rounds. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system immediately. Second, splash cold water on your face or end your shower cold for 30 seconds. This stimulates your vagus nerve. Third, write 3 specific gratitude entries in your journal. This shifts your brain toward positivity and lowers cortisol. Fourth, move your body for 10 minutes. Walk around the block. Do jumping jacks in your room. Stretch on your bedroom floor. Anything that gets blood flowing. That's it. Breathe, cold, gratitude, move. Under 20 minutes. If you do this every morning for 30 days, I promise you, the way you handle stress will be unrecognizable compared to where you are now. Now, here's a concept that changes everything when it comes to stress. Stop trying to manage your time. Start managing your energy. Most people think the solution to stress is better scheduling, more to-do lists, more alarms, more productivity hacks. But that misses the point entirely. Think about it. If you are exhausted at 3 p.m., it doesn't matter that your calendar says work on project. You're going to stare at the screen, feel overwhelmed, and get more stressed. But if you took a 10-minute walk at 2:45, drank some water, and did 4 rounds of breathing, you come back with energy. Stress isn't always caused by what you're doing. It's often caused by the state you're in while doing it. When your energy is high, problems feel manageable. When your energy is low, everything feels like a crisis. Protect your energy. Guard it. Schedule your rest with the same seriousness you schedule your meetings. Part of managing your energy is learning to say no. This is huge. Many people are stressed not because life is too hard, but because they have said yes to too many things. Yes to the extra project at work. Yes to the friend who always needs favors. Yes to the family event they don't actually want to attend. Yes, 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 until there's nothing left for themselves. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to your own peace of mind. That is not selfish. That is survival. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You've probably heard that before, but have you actually practiced it? Start small. The next time someone asks you for something and your gut says, I really don't want to do this, say, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I can't right now. That's it. No long explanation, no guilt, just a simple, respectful no. Your stress levels will thank you. Let's talk about something sneaky. Decision fatigue. Every single day, you make thousands of decisions. What to wear, what to eat for breakfast, which email to answer first, whether to take the highway or side streets. Each tiny decision uses up a little piece of your mental energy, and by the end of the day, you're spent. This is why you feel overwhelmed even when nothing happened. Something did happen. You used up all your brain power on tiny choices. This is also why billionaires like Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day: black turtleneck, jeans, sneakers. He didn't want to waste brain energy on something that didn't matter. Reduce your daily decisions. Plan your meals for the week on Sunday. Lay out your clothes the night before. Create default routines for your morning, afternoon, and evening. The fewer decisions your brain has to make on autopilot, the more energy you have for the things that actually matter. Okay, quick but important point. Drink water. Dehydration, even mild dehydration, increases cortisol production. Your body perceives dehydration as a stressor. It's like a plant that starts wilting because it hasn't been watered. The plant doesn't need a therapist, it needs water. Most people walk around chronically dehydrated and wonder why they feel anxious, tired, and foggy. Your brain is about 75% water. When you don't drink enough, everything suffers. Your mood, your focus, your ability to handle pressure. Carry a water bottle. Set reminders on your phone if you have to. Aim for about 8 glasses a day as a starting point. More if you're active or it's hot outside. This is so simple that most people overlook it entirely. Don't be one of them. Now I want to share a piece of ancient wisdom that has survived for thousands of years because it is so deeply true. The Stoic philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome taught a simple idea: focus only on what is within your control, and let go of everything else. Think of it like steering a boat. You can't control the wind, you can't control the waves, you can't control the storm. But you can control the direction of your sail, the strength of your grip, and whether or not you panic. That is what the Stoics mean. You can't control whether you get fired, but you can control how you prepare, how you respond, and what you do next. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, said something like this: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you stop wasting energy on things you cannot change, you suddenly have more energy for the things you can. This is one of the most important stress lessons you will ever learn. Step 11. Mindfulness. I know, this word gets thrown around a lot, but let me explain what it actually means in simple language. Mindfulness just means paying attention to what is happening right now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, right now. Most stress comes from one of two places: regretting the past or worrying about the future. Like replaying that embarrassing thing you said at a dinner party 3 years ago, or imagining the worst-case scenario for a job interview that hasn't even happened yet. Mindfulness pulls you back to the present moment, where, most of the time, you are perfectly safe. The meta-analysis by Rogerson and colleagues found that mindfulness and meditation interventions were among the most effective at reducing cortisol levels, outperforming other types of stress management approaches. Not just slightly better, significantly better. And you can practice it in as little as 5 minutes a day. Here's how. Sit somewhere quiet. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath, just the feeling of air going in and coming out. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. That's it. That is mindfulness. You don't need an app. You don't need music. You don't need a special room. You just need 5 minutes and your breath. The key is this. When your mind wanders to something like, did I send that email? Or, what am I cooking for dinner? You don't get mad at yourself. You just notice it happened and gently come back to the breath. Like training a puppy to sit. It gets up, you gently guide it back. No yelling, no frustration, just patience. Every time you catch your mind wandering and bring it back, you are strengthening your prefrontal cortex. You are literally building the muscle that helps you stay calm under stress. Think of each moment of catching yourself as a tiny workout for your brain's calmness center. Over weeks and months, this adds up. Here's another powerful mindfulness technique, the body scan. Lie down or sit comfortably. Starting from the top of your head, slowly move your attention down through your body. Your forehead, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your belly, your legs, your feet. At each spot, just notice what you feel. Tension, warmth, tightness, pain. You don't need to fix anything. Just notice it. It's like being a friendly inspector walking through a building, checking each room. How's it going in here? Without trying to rearrange all the furniture. Most people carry stress in their body without even knowing it. Their shoulders are up by their ears. Their jaw is clenched. Their stomach is tight. A body scan helps you find where the stress is hiding. And the simple act of noticing it, shining a light on it, begins to release it. Try this tonight before bed. You'll be amazed. Step 12. Keep a stress journal. This is different from a gratitude journal. A stress journal is where you track your stress triggers. Write down what happened, like, my coworker took credit for my idea in the team meeting. Write how it made you feel, like angry, disrespected, invisible. Then write what you did about it. After a few weeks of doing this, you will start to see patterns. Maybe you always feel stressed on Sunday evenings. Maybe a certain person always triggers anxiety. Maybe you feel worst after eating certain foods or sleeping badly. Patterns reveal solutions. Once you see the pattern, you can change it. If Sunday evenings stress you out because you dread Monday, you can create a Sunday routine that calms you. Maybe a long walk in the afternoon, cooking your favorite meal, and preparing your work clothes so Monday feels easier. Knowledge is power, and a stress journal gives you knowledge about yourself that most people never get. Step 13. Progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR. This is a technique where you deliberately tense a muscle group for 5 seconds, then release it for 15 seconds. You move through your whole body, one group at a time. Start with your fists. Squeeze them tight for 5 seconds. Then release. Feel the difference between tension and relaxation. Then your arms. Squeeze, release. Your shoulders. Squeeze, release. Your face. Scrunch it up tight like you just bit into a lemon, then let go. The reason this works is simple. Your brain learns the difference between stressed muscles and relaxed muscles. It's like calibrating a scale. Once you know what 0 feels like, you can quickly tell when something is off and needs adjusting. Over time, you become able to detect tension in your body before it builds up, and release it before it becomes a problem. This is especially good before bed or during a stressful workday. Step 14. Watch your stimulant intake. I already mentioned caffeine and sleep, but let's zoom out. Caffeine, sugar, nicotine, and even some energy drinks put your nervous system into a heightened state. They tell your body to produce more adrenaline and more cortisol. If you're already stressed and you drink 3 cups of coffee, that's like pouring gasoline onto a campfire and wondering why the flames got bigger. You are chemically amplifying your stress response without realizing it. I'm not saying never drink coffee, but be aware of how much you consume and when you consume it. If you notice that you feel jittery, anxious, or restless after caffeine, that's your body telling you it's already overstimulated. Listen to it. Switch to herbal tea in the afternoon. Reduce your sugar intake. Pay attention to what you're putting into your body, because whatever goes in comes out as either calm or chaos. Step 15. Forgiveness. This is a hard one, but it needs to be said. Holding on to anger, bitterness, or resentment towards someone who hurt you is one of the biggest hidden sources of chronic stress. You think you're punishing them by staying angry, but you're only poisoning yourself. Carrying a grudge is like gripping a hot coal and expecting the other person to get burned. Your hand is the one that's blistering. Your cortisol stays elevated. Your sleep suffers. Your mind replays the hurt again and again like a broken record. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. Forgiveness means you're choosing to stop letting it control your body and your mind. It is a decision to free yourself. And from a stress perspective, it is one of the most powerful things you can do. Let it go. Not for them, for you. Step 16. Laugh. I'm serious. Laughter is one of the most underrated stress-busting tools on the planet. When you laugh, your body releases endorphins, natural feel-good chemicals. Your cortisol drops, your muscles relax, your immune system gets a boost. Watch a funny video of a cat falling off a table. Call that friend who always has you in tears from laughing. Watch a comedy special. Listen to a funny podcast. Laughter is free medicine with zero side effects. The problem is, when we're stressed, laughing is the last thing we feel like doing. But that's exactly when you need it most. Force it if you have to. Put on something funny and just let yourself go. Even forced laughter has been shown to produce positive effects in the body. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real and forced laughter. It just responds to the physical act. So laugh. Prescribe yourself humor every single day. Your environment affects your stress more than you realize. A messy room, a cluttered desk, a disorganized home. These things create low-level stress that never goes away because you're always looking at it. Think of your room like your brain. When there are clothes on the floor, dishes piled up, and papers everywhere, it's like having 50 browser tabs open on your computer. Your brain can't focus. It feels overwhelmed even when you're just sitting there doing nothing. Take 15 minutes today and clean one space. Just one. Your desk, your bedside table, your car. You'll feel a wave of relief wash over you, like finally closing all those browser tabs and seeing a clean, empty screen. A calm environment creates a calm mind. Don't underestimate the power of a tidy space. Let me share something from Eastern philosophy that has helped millions of people stay calm for thousands of years. In Buddhism, there is a concept called non-attachment. It doesn't mean you stop caring about things. It means you stop clinging to specific outcomes. Think of it this way. You plant a seed in your garden. You water it. You give it sunlight. You do everything right. But whether it grows into a beautiful flower or not, that part is not fully up to you. Non-attachment means doing your best and then making peace with whatever happens. When you are attached to a specific outcome, I must get this job, I must make this person love me, I must never fail. Every threat to that outcome becomes a source of enormous stress. But when you shift to, I will do my best and accept whatever comes, the weight drops off your shoulders like a backpack full of rocks. This is freedom. This is the heart of calm. This idea connects to something called radical acceptance. It means fully accepting reality as it is, not as you wish it were. Your flight got canceled? That's the reality. You can scream at the airline agent, or you can accept it and start looking for solutions. One option raises your cortisol. The other preserves your calm. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means stopping the fight against things you cannot change, so you have energy to change the things you can. This is one of the most misunderstood ideas in mental health. People think acceptance means weakness. It's actually the ultimate strength, because fighting reality is exhausting, and it never works. Reality always wins. The sooner you accept what is, the sooner you can start building what could be. Let that sink in. Step 17. Visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a place where you feel completely safe and calm. Maybe it's a quiet beach with warm sand between your toes. Maybe it's your grandmother's kitchen with the smell of fresh bread. Maybe it's a mountaintop where you can see for miles and the only sound is the wind. When you visualize a calm scene in detail, your brain responds almost as if you were actually there. Your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, your muscles relax. This isn't pretending. This is using your brain's own wiring to trigger a real, physical relaxation response. Practice this for 2 to 3 minutes whenever you feel overwhelmed. Before a big presentation at work. Before a difficult conversation with your partner. Before opening an email you've been dreading all day. Go to your safe place first. Breathe. Then come back ready to face whatever is waiting. Step 18. Schedule regular digital detoxes. Your phone is a stress machine. Notifications, emails, news alerts, social media comparisons. Every ping is a tiny hit of cortisol. Set a time, even just 1 hour per day, where your phone goes in a drawer. Not on the table, not face down, in a drawer, out of sight. Treat it like putting a noisy parrot in another room so you can finally hear yourself think. You will feel anxious at first. That's normal. That anxiety is actually withdrawal. Your brain has become addicted to the constant stimulation. But after a few days of consistent practice, you'll notice something beautiful. Quiet, mental space, clarity. You'll start having thoughts again instead of reactions. And that is where calm lives, in the space between the noise. Step 19. Journal. And I don't just mean gratitude or stress journals, I mean free writing. Sit down, open a blank page, and just write. Whatever comes to mind. No rules, no structure, no judgment. Pour it all out like dumping a bucket of muddy water. At first it looks messy, but the more you pour out, the clearer the water becomes. That's what journaling does for your mind. It takes the swirling chaos of thoughts and feelings and externalizes them onto paper. Once they're on paper, they lose their power over you. You can see your problems more clearly when they're written down. Solutions emerge that you couldn't see when everything was spinning inside your head. It's like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle inside a dark closet versus spreading all the pieces out on a big, well-lit table. Same puzzle, but now you can actually see what you're working with. Write for 10 minutes, every day. Watch the clarity come. Step 20. Set boundaries. With people, with work, with yourself. Boundaries are not walls. They are fences with gates. You decide who gets in and when. If a coworker keeps dumping their work on you, that's a boundary problem. If your family calls at midnight wanting to vent, that's a boundary problem. If you keep saying, just 5 more minutes on your phone and suddenly it's 1 a.m., that's a boundary problem with yourself. Clear boundaries reduce stress because they create predictability. You know what you will and won't accept. Others know what to expect from you. There are fewer surprises, fewer conflicts, fewer moments where you feel overwhelmed because someone has crossed a line that was never drawn. Draw the line. Communicate it. Hold it. Your peace depends on it. What you eat affects how you feel. This isn't just a health slogan, it's brain science. Your gut is directly connected to your brain through the vagus nerve. This is called the gut-brain axis. When your gut is inflamed from junk food, processed sugars, and artificial ingredients, your brain feels it. Foods that help reduce stress include fatty fish like salmon, which is rich in omega-3s that support brain health. Dark leafy greens provide magnesium, which helps calm the nervous system. Fermented foods like yogurt and kimchi support gut bacteria that communicate with your brain. Dark chocolate, in moderation, increases serotonin. Foods that increase stress include excessive sugar, processed snacks, fried foods, and alcohol. Eating a bag of chips when you're stressed might feel comforting for 5 minutes, but it's like putting a tiny bandage on a deep wound while accidentally pouring salt into it. Your body needs real fuel to manage stress. Feed it properly. Speaking of nutrition, let me introduce you to magnesium. It's called the calm mineral, and for good reason. Magnesium helps regulate cortisol, supports the nervous system, and promotes better sleep. Many people are deficient in magnesium without even knowing it. Foods rich in magnesium include almonds, spinach, pumpkin seeds, avocado, dark chocolate, and bananas. If you're feeling tense, struggling to sleep, and getting muscle cramps, your body might literally be crying out for magnesium, like a phone beeping at 5% battery, begging you to plug it in. Consider adding more of these foods to your daily diet. Some people also take magnesium supplements. Magnesium glycinate is a popular form for stress and sleep, but always check with your doctor first. This small nutritional shift can make a noticeable difference in how calm you feel day to day. When was the last time you sat in total silence? No phone, no music, no podcast, no TV, just silence. Most people can't remember, and that's a problem, because your brain needs silence to recover from stimulation overload. Think of your brain like a sponge that's been absorbing noise, information, and input all day. Silence is what happens when you squeeze the sponge out. It becomes light again, ready to absorb new things. Try this. Just sit for 5 minutes in total silence. No doing anything, no planning, no thinking about what to do next. Just be. The first time you do this, it might feel uncomfortable, even boring. That's because your brain has become addicted to noise. But with practice, silence becomes the most refreshing part of your day. It's where your deepest calm lives. Step 21. Practice self-compassion. Many stressed people are their own worst enemy. They talk to themselves in ways they would never talk to a friend. You're so stupid. You always mess up. You're a failure. You can't do anything right. Would you say that to a child who was struggling? Would you say that to your best friend? Of course not. So why do you say it to yourself? Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness you would show to someone you love. When you make a mistake, instead of beating yourself up, say, "That was tough, but I'm learning. I'll try again." Self-criticism raises cortisol. Self-compassion lowers it. The research is clear. People who practice self-compassion handle stress better, recover from failure faster, and have healthier relationships. Be kind to yourself. You are doing the best you can, and that is enough. Let's talk about social media specifically, because this deserves its own mention. Comparing yourself to curated, filtered, edited versions of other people's lives is a guaranteed recipe for stress and unhappiness. That person posting vacation photos might be drowning in credit card debt. That perfect couple might fight every night. That fitness influencer might be deeply insecure. You are comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. It's like comparing your rough first draft to someone's published, professionally edited book. Unfollow accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. Follow accounts that teach you, inspire you, or make you laugh. Curate your feed like you curate your life, intentionally. And remember the digital detox we talked about. Your peace of mind is worth more than any notification. Here's something profound. People who have a sense of purpose handle stress better. When you know why you are doing something, when your daily actions connect to a bigger meaning, stress becomes easier to endure. A mother working long hours at a tough job doesn't crumble because she knows she's providing for her children. A medical student suffering through years of grueling study doesn't give up because they know they're going to save lives one day. Purpose is the anchor that keeps you steady in the storm. If you don't have a clear sense of purpose yet, start asking yourself simple questions. What matters most to me? What would I do even if nobody paid me? What breaks my heart in the world, and how could I help fix it? Purpose doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be real. Find it, write it down, and let it carry you through the hard days. Step 22. Celebrate your small wins. Most people only feel good when they achieve something big, but big achievements are rare. Small wins happen every single day, and they matter more than you think. Woke up on time? Win. Drank enough water? Win. Didn't check your phone during breakfast? Win. Went for a walk even though you didn't feel like it? Big win. These tiny victories build momentum, and momentum creates confidence. And confidence is the enemy of stress. Start a win list at the end of each day. Write down 3 things you did well, no matter how small. This trains your brain to look for success instead of scanning for problems. Over time, you'll feel more capable, more in control, and far less overwhelmed by life's challenges. This one sounds strange, but it works. Schedule your worry time. Instead of worrying all day about everything, set aside 15 minutes in the afternoon specifically for worrying. This is called scheduled worry, and therapists use it in cognitive behavioral therapy. Here's how it works. When a worry pops up during the day, instead of spiraling into it, you write it down on a list and say, "I'll deal with this at 4 p.m." When 4 p.m. arrives, sit down with your list and actually think about each worry. You'll be amazed. Half of them don't even bother you anymore by the time you get to them. What this does is contain your worries into a small box instead of letting them spill all over your entire day, like putting all the trash into one bin instead of scattering it across every room in your house. You regain control, and control is one of the key ingredients for calm. For many people around the world, faith and spirituality are their strongest anchor during stressful times. Whether it's prayer, meditation, going to church, reading scripture, or connecting with a higher power, spiritual practice provides something that science alone often cannot: a sense of meaning, comfort, and surrender. The act of prayer, for example, activates many of the same brain regions as meditation. The prefrontal cortex lights up, the amygdala calms down. Spiritual community provides social connection and support, and the belief that there is something bigger than your problems puts your stress into perspective. I'm not telling you what to believe. That's your journey. But I am saying, if you have a spiritual practice, lean into it during stress. And if you don't, consider exploring one. The research consistently shows that people with strong spiritual or religious practices report lower stress, better mental health, and greater life satisfaction. Don't leave this tool on the shelf. Step 23. If your stress is severe, persistent, or affecting your ability to function, please consider talking to a professional. A therapist, a counselor, a psychologist. Asking for help is not weakness. It is one of the bravest things a human being can do. The APA found that when adults were asked which lifestyle factors have the biggest impact on their mental health, 53% said stress, making it the #1 factor. Yet only 1 in 4 adults spoke to a mental health professional in the past year. That means millions of people are suffering in silence. A trained professional can give you tools that are specific to your situation. They can identify patterns you can't see yourself. They can help you process trauma, set boundaries, and build coping skills. You wouldn't try to fix a broken leg by yourself with a YouTube video. The same logic applies to a broken stress response. Get help when you need it. There is zero shame in that. I want to leave you with one of the most powerful truths about stress. Everything is temporary. The thing that is stressing you out right now will not stress you out forever. 5 years from now, you probably won't even remember the traffic jam that ruined your Tuesday. A year from now, that fight with your friend might seem silly. When you're in the storm, it feels like it will never end. But it always does. Always. Think back to the worst day of your life, 1, 2, 5 years ago. You survived it. You got through it. You're here, reading this, watching this, still standing. This knowledge that pain is temporary is one of the most calming things you can carry with you. When stress hits, remind yourself, this too shall pass. It's not just a nice saying, it is a biological fact. Your body is designed to return to calm. You just need to help it get there. Okay, let's bring it all together. Here is your complete Calm Under Stress toolkit. You now have 23 steps. Not all of them will apply to you. Not all of them need to be done at once. Pick the ones that resonate. Start with 3. Master those. Then add more. The big 5 to start with right now. 1. 4-7-8 breathing every day. 2. Move your body for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. 3. Protect your sleep like your life depends on it. 4. Write 3 gratitude entries daily. 5. Splash cold water on your face every morning to activate your vagus nerve. These 5 things alone will transform your stress response within 30 days. I'm not exaggerating. The science is there. A comprehensive meta-analysis of 58 studies confirmed that mindfulness, meditation, and relaxation interventions can positively influence cortisol levels. The tools work. Now you just have to use them. So here's my challenge to you. Starting tomorrow, commit to 30 days. Just 30 days. Do the morning routine. Breathe, cold water, gratitude, movement. That's less than 20 minutes. Track your progress in a journal. At the end of 30 days, compare how you feel to how you feel right now. I guarantee the difference will shock you. Your sleep will be better. Your mood will be lighter. Your ability to handle problems will be stronger. And the people around you will notice. They'll ask what changed, and you can smile and say, I finally stopped letting stress run my life. That's it. That's the transformation. It doesn't require money. It doesn't require special equipment. It just requires a decision. Make it today. Remember this beautiful truth. Your brain is changeable. Scientists call it neuroplasticity. Every time you breathe deeply, you strengthen the calm circuits. Every time you exercise, you burn off stress chemicals. Every time you sleep well, you reset your emotional brain. Every time you practice gratitude, you reinforce positive pathways. The research is consistent. Regular breathing practice increases the thickness of the prefrontal cortex and strengthens its connection with the amygdala, building long-term stress resilience. Your brain is not fixed. It is constantly rebuilding itself based on what you do every day. So the question isn't, can I change? The question is, will I change? And since you're still here, still watching, I think you already know the answer. Stress will always be part of life. You will never eliminate it completely. And honestly, you don't want to. A small amount of stress keeps you alert, motivated, and alive. The goal is not zero stress. The goal is mastery over stress. Mastery means you feel the stress, but you don't let it control you. Mastery means you have tools, and you use them. Mastery means you know that you are stronger than any difficult moment because you've trained your body and mind to respond instead of react. You have everything you need. You have your breath, you have your body, you have your mind, and now you have the knowledge. Go use it. Start tonight. Start with one deep breath. Like that. Feel it? That's your power. That's your calm. It's been inside you this whole time. Thank you for staying with me through this entire video. The fact that you're here at the end tells me something important about you. You're serious about changing your life, and that takes courage. Here is your final action step. Right now, before you click away, write down the 3 techniques from this video that you want to start with. Write them on your phone, on a sticky note, on the back of your hand. I don't care where. just write them down. Because knowledge without action is just entertainment. And you didn't come here to be entertained. You came here to change. Share this video with someone you love who is struggling with stress. You could change their life with one click. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because we are going much deeper. Until next time, breathe deep, stand tall, and remember, you were built for this.